What happened to my kidneys? There have been some developments in my kidney journey. First, let's do a quick recap. In early 2025, I began to feel not quite right. And finally, I went to a doctor, and blood tests showed that my kidneys were not in very good shape. A month later, I went back, had new tests, and they were in even worse shape, and he recommended seeing a nephrologist, which I did. And by the time I saw the nephrologist, my kidneys were even in worse shape, and the nephrologist couldn't believe that I'd never seen a nephrologist before. But that's how it goes. Before my next appointment with the nephrologist came along, I was declining very rapidly, and my wife decided I should go to emergency, which I did. And as you know, if you've watched my other videos, they took me into the hospital on Monday morning and did some tests, and Tuesday morning early they operated and put a chest catheter in my chest so that they could do dialysis. And then I got dialysis Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then Friday, they put a peritoneal dialysis catheter in my stomach because I was not going to do hemodialysis. I wanted to do peritoneal dialysis. It's easier on the body, for one thing. It's a bit more of a time commitment, but supposedly you can sleep through it. So that's what I did. I did hemodialysis about 6 more times. I was going to the dialysis center 3 days a week, 4 hours a time, and I felt a lot better. You know, it was working. Finally, my PD catheter had healed so that it could be used, and we went into training on the PD, on the peritoneal dialysis. Ordered supplies, did all the things you need to do in order to go on PD. And then I was on PD, and I was doing it 7 days a week, 8 hours a night. You know, again, you're supposed to try to sleep through it. I tried. There's something called drain pain, and it wakes you up every time. And if that doesn't wake you up, something will happen, and you get slow drain, and you'll get an alarm from the machine and it'll wake you up so you can do a regular drain. So I'm doing that for a few months, and my nephrologist says, you can take 1 day a week off. My numbers were good. I was doing well. I said, okay, great. So that was nice. I got to do 1 night a week off. And a month or 2 later, he says, boy, your numbers really look good. Why don't you just do every other day? I said, fine with me, you know. In the meantime, went to UTMB with the idea of getting on their transplant list. Went through all the procedures, the 23 vials of blood, the heart catheterization, everything they wanted. And they found I was totally healthy outside of my kidneys. I'm on the list. After about 2 months, I got a phone call, which surprised me because they said it would probably be 5 to 7 years before I ever got a chance to get a kidney. 2 months into my membership on the list, I got a phone call. They had a kidney, but it had a fairly high donor index, which is not good. You want to have a low donor index. This was a 96. The highest it goes is 100. For that reason, and because I was feeling very well and doing well on PD, I didn't feel an urgency to get a kidney and decided to pass on this one. They assured me that passing on a kidney would not affect my position in line, and so there was no downside to not accepting the kidney. That's what I did. A few days later, I see my nephrologist, and he says, you don't need to do PD anymore. We're not going to do any more dialysis with you. You don't need it. My numbers were really good. They would improve every time I'd go in. So he took me off PD. And it also means that even if I had said yes to that kidney, they would not have given it to me. I'm too healthy. So now I've gone about 3 months since my last dialysis treatment. And about 2 months in, they said, well, Rod, I think we can take that PD catheter out, which was a relief because, you know, you got this tube hanging out of your belly. You got to do special preparations to take a shower. You got to do special preparations after a shower. You can't go swimming in a swimming pool. There's a lot of things you can't do. And so I said, fine. They took my PD catheter out. Thank you, Dr. Clay Albright. And 2 days later, I go up to Oregon and watch my daughter get her master's degree. Congratulations, Rachel. And I had no problems while I was up there. Didn't have any pain from the surgery, didn't have any discomfort. Everything was just great. And so I did a follow-up with my surgeon just the other day, and he said I'm doing fine. Also visited my nephrologist that same day. He says, you're doing fine, so you know, we're just going to bide our time, and eventually I'll probably end up on dialysis again, but I'm going to enjoy the freedom I have now. So I no longer have this PD catheter in my stomach. The PD catheter is gone. If things change, I'll give you another update. While you have life, enjoy it. Do whatever makes you feel best.